It's time now for the Red Hawks Coaches Show on the SEMO ESPN Radio Sports Network. The Southeast Coaches Show airs every Tuesday at noon on ESPN 92.9 FM and 1220 AM from Wings Etc. in Cape and Jackson. This is your chance to delve deep into the Red Hawks basketball season with head coach Rick Gregg. So what do you say?
Come on, let's go!
Let's go! Go! Let's go live to Wings Etc. on SEMO ESPN.
And we'll welcome you in live. We are at Wings Etc. in Jackson, and it is a special edition of the Coaches Show. And the reason it's a special edition is because it is our birthday at SEMO ESPN. This is our third birthday bash, and we gave away a lot of tickets to this event. Now, it is a private event. You are invited to come out to Wings Etc. if you want to watch the national championship football game, which is scheduled to kick off right around 7:30 Central Time. So you're welcome to come out and enjoy the game. However, we're back in the banquet room, and that is ticket only. So that is by invitation only, but you can come by and watch, and you can take part in their terrific menu that they have here at Wings Etc. And that includes their award-winning jumbo wings. For dine-in and for carry-out, they have a full menu, and that features their freshly made burgers, their wraps, subs, quesadillas, entree salads, smoke ribs, and a lot more. They have an appetizer lineup. If that interests you, that includes their ultimate nachos and their deep-fried pickle spears. And you'll notice as soon as you walk in, they have got the high-def, flat-screen TVs all over the joint, and they have the best in sports programming. That includes the NFL Sunday Ticket. Now, we're going to be talking some football with Jackson High School football coach Brent Eckley. He's going to join us coming up in a few minutes. We're going to talk SEMO baseball. Steve Beezer, the two-time OVC champion head coach, will join us as well. Believe it or not, 1 month until SEMO baseball starts, February 19th. They will be playing down in Texas at Lamar University. Now, Mike Rennick is here. He's the operations manager at River Radio. Birthday number 3 for SEMO ESPN. In dog years, we're legal now.
That's right.
Yeah,
21 years old.
We're legal.
So we're good. We're good to go.
So
order them up.
If you want to order something big off of the drink menu, you are now allowed. Okay?
That's right.
All right. Just so you know, but we're going to be giving away prizes tonight.
That's right. You get
we've got a 43-inch high-def TV. Is that right?
Flat screen TV. Then some St. Louis Blues tickets and some Memphis Grizzlies tickets. So
I think
some good stuff.
I think there are 2 Blues tickets, Carolina Hurricanes, and then 4 Memphis Grizzlies tickets to a guy, to the team that they're going to play, a guy who's going to go into the NBA Hall of Fame. I think it's fair to say Dirk Nowitzki for the Dallas Mavericks is going to be a Hall of Famer.
I agree. So some good games, TV, flat screen. It's whole slew of prizes to win, and some T-shirts as well. Everybody loves T-shirts, so have the SEMO ESPN T-shirts up for grabs also.
I've been told that Rachel Cook is going to be here.
She's here.
She will just walk the name up. They're drawing names when everybody is coming in. All the people that secured tickets to the birthday bash, they are registering, and she's just going to walk up with names. And she's just going to pull names, and we're just going to be giving away T-shirts. We could be in the middle of a conversation about with Coach Beezer about, what's your theory on the sacrifice bunt? Boom, a T-shirt is given away.
Well, hopefully, because that's a riveting subject. But we'll get a T-shirt out. Yeah, just could happen randomly, so going to be fun.
Okay, Alabama and Clemson, that is the main event tonight. The top-ranked team in college football is the Clemson Tigers. They're trying to become the first Division I team ever to go 15-0. No team has ever done that. They can do it if they can beat Alabama, who is in the national championship game for the 4th time in 7 years. They are trying to win their 4th national title in 7 seasons under Nick Saban. Coach Eckley is here. We're going to get him in a second, so I got to get your prediction.
Okay.
Who you got?
I get tired of the Alabama talk, but I go Bama. I think they're going to win.
So you're saying in front of this crowd full of people that you are rooting for Nick Saban and the Crimson Tide?
I am.
All right.
I am.
All right. I got to go the other way.
Are you going to give your pick yet?
Oh, I'm going with Clemson, Dabo Swinney.
All right.
Okay.
All right.
We'll see what Coach Brent Eckley thinks. He's on his way up here, and we'll talk some football with him, not only national championship football, but also he is the head coach of the Jackson Indians. And we'll find out what's on tap for Jackson football. They are coming off a 5-5 season, and, of course, graduated their quarterback from 2 seasons ago, Dante Vandeven, who is the starting football player at the quarterback position for the Southeast Missouri State Redhawks. Coach Eckley is here. Now, I guess when you're talking college football, I don't even know where your allegiances lie. I mean, do you are you root for Mizzou? I know you coached a quarterback that went and played Division I at Kansas. Where are you lying in terms of what college team you root for?
I end up rooting for the teams that I'm a fan of theirs, and a lot of times it's stuff that we borrow from.
Yeah.
So you'll find that, I'm excited to watch TCU and Baylor. I pay attention to Coach Babers that now just took over the job at Syracuse. He was an assistant on the Baylor staff and then went to Eastern Illinois.
I think he won two championships at EIU.
Yeah, and so I try to pay attention to some of the stuff that they do. I love watching. During the season, I don't get a chance to watch very much football, so I DVR all of it and start catching up when the season's over. Unfortunately, this season the season ended early enough. I was able to watch a lot of football. I don't necessarily prefer that. But, when we get going in the bowl games, I ended up watching a bunch of bowl games and recording it. So, anyway, as far as fans go, that's probably the stuff that I watch the most of and I cheer for.
Coach Brett Eckley, Jackson Football, is our guest. Did you pay as well, I guess, closer attention to Southeast Missouri State football this year? Because obviously your former quarterback, Dante Vandeven, worked his way as a true freshman into the starter's role at SEMO.
Tried to. I really think their staff's done a great job of trying to connect with us and all the high school coaches. And I know that we're all, from Jackson, we're all proud of Dante and what he's accomplished. The coaches did a great job with him, with him being a young guy coming in and playing in that league. Having an opponent that made it to the national championship game is a big deal. And they competed with him pretty favorably, I believe, early on, especially. So, we paid a little bit closer attention to him. Coach Tuke's done a nice job sharing stuff with us. He's always been open to us when we want to come in and watch practice, or if there's something we have a question on, something they do that we'd like to get, he's always willing to share that. So, yeah, we follow them a little bit more closely, yeah.
All right. You could make an argument that in modern day football, we're not talking about Bear Bryant's days or Newt Rockney's days, even further back. You can make an argument, especially if Alabama would win tonight, that Nick Saban is among the greatest college football coaches ever in modern college football. How closely do you follow what Saban does and what his philosophies are, especially on the defensive side of the ball? That's really where they've made their bones.
Yeah, number one, they're great recruiters. And the coaches that I've talked to, they're, big-time type coaches. They all say that, the one place that's hands down better than anywhere else is Alabama. It just seems like the pockets are deep, and if there's something they want done, they do it. Whether that's getting a coach to fly out to speak to a group, or if it's recruiting, or if it's new facilities, whatever it is, they're able to do it. So you're talking about a coach that's got a great system in place, and they've started it with defense, and they've started it, kicking game and running the football, and then built from there. Their strength and conditioning. I think they just did they just give a new contract to their strength and conditioning coach?
They did.
It was an outlandish number.
Because there are other schools that are looking at him and saying, hey, you see what he's doing at Alabama?
Yep.
Let's bring him in. And
Yep.
Alabama says, no, we got plenty of money. We're keeping our guys.
That's exactly right. And when it comes down to it still has a little bit to do with Jimmy's and Joe's. I mean, he's doing a great job, but the guys that he's starting with are a little bit better than some of the other guys. But they do a good job of developing. They'll graduate, or they'll get guys that leave early, and next guy in steps in. But he's been a big guy process. He's a big process guy. So you hear him talk the whole time. It's like, this is the process that we go through. And it seems like he has an answer for everything. It's like he has a reason why for every possible scenario within their program.
Do you like that philosophy?
Yeah, the process is the way to go. And I think there's a lot of the guys that fall into that. They're just not as experienced, and they weren't on the front side of it.
Right.
But I think that's the way to go, because when you start selling guys to, the end result, you end up being disappointed. Whereas if you focus on the process, it's easier to motivate guys day to day. And at least that's my perspective.
All right, Dabo Sweeney for Clemson. They're trying to finish the season undefeated. They feel like they're being a little underappreciated or disrespected with everybody talking about Alabama. Vegas and the odds makers say the Tide is the favorite here with Coach Saban. How familiar are you with Swinney and what he's doing at Clemson?
I think that he's done an outstanding job. Is this their 5th season with 10 wins in a row?
I believe so.
4th, 5th, something like that. Outstanding job. It's interesting. You know, they've done it with different quarterbacks. They've done it with different coordinators. You know, they've had to play against, you know, some of the tough teams when you're looking at Florida State. You know, as far as what they do scheme wise, I'm not as familiar with it. You know, I paid a little bit closer attention to it when what's his name that's at SMU now is their coordinator. His name escapes me now, but anyway, I was very interested in some of the things that they were doing. It's interesting though that they've continued to find out ways to run the football, and I think that'll be a challenge for them. You know, tonight, no matter, even though the quarterback's an outstanding athlete, I think it'll be a challenge for him. To figure out a way to run the ball versus that defense.
It's interesting because you're a scheme guy, so you see the field and you probably watch a football game completely different than the rest of us. You're looking at X's and O's and how did that play set up, or boy, I can see how this might materialize, on either side of the ball. It's interesting when Alabama and Nick Saban have gone up against pro-style offenses, like they saw with Michigan State, they have hammered those teams.
Yeah.
When they go up against a team that has a quarterback that is mobile and can hurt you with his legs, that's the team that has beaten Alabama, and that's what Alabama faces tonight in Deshaun Watson.
Yeah, I agree with that. The one thing, though, that if you look at their last time out, Clemson's last time out, they didn't throw it real well. The quarterback ran it well, but he didn't throw it. And I think some of the times, when Alabama's had, if you look back at Manziel's time with them.
Yeah.
Manziel ran it, yes, but he also threw it very well
accurate
on the move, and their receivers made plays. Clemson's might be able to do that. One of the deals that Coach Saban talks about is recruiting the long athlete. He tries to recruit guys that are big for their position.
Yeah.
He'll give up a 10th and the 40 to get a guy that's an inch taller and has 2 inches longer reach. And I have a feeling that their defense is built long, and so it'll be difficult to get some of those plays that you're talking about that Manziel got. And at the same time, when you look back, Clemson's quarterback last time out did not do a great job throwing the ball. He ran it very well, but he just didn't throw it as well. And so I think that's, if he throws it well tonight, Alabama will be in trouble. I just don't know if he will. To me, as I watch him, it just doesn't – it's not as smooth coming out. When Manziel threw it, sometimes when I'm looking at a quarterback and I see him throw it, it's like when it comes out of his hand, we talk about some quarterbacks, if they're good, they throw and they know. And other quarterbacks, if they're not as good, they're throwing and they're guessing, they're hoping.
Yeah, right.
And it seems to me like when Manziel threw it, it was like, yep, that's where it's going. And he just had that feel for it. I don't know if I see that same thing in Clemson's quarterback. And if you look at it, you mentioned too about watching the game differently. I do watch it differently. There's a lot of times when the game's going on that I'll click back and I'll watch it again. I'll click back, watch it again, click back, watch it again. And the other thing that frustrates me about it is, I get used to watching film of our stuff, and we want to see every player. Well, it's not a highlight view. What TVs have started doing, they started shrinking in. And so now at the beginning of a play, you don't see all 22.
You can't see the free safety.
You don't see 22. You'll see like 17 or 18 players. And it's like, well, where did that come from? And so I'll end up rewinding a bunch. So sometimes it gets frustrating watching a game.
I got you. All right. When you look at this matchup between Alabama and Clemson, the one thing I'll also say, you go back to Tim Tebow. I know that when he made it to the NFL, one of his issues was downfield accuracy. But his numbers at Florida, he was an extremely accurate downfield thrower and a guy that could hurt you with his legs. And that's what Ohio State did to Saban and Alabama last year in running the football with the quarterback. Yeah,
exactly. And I'm trying to think back. Their quarterback did a nice job throwing it last year against them as well. I know he doesn't still have the job, but he did a nice job throwing the ball against them last year. And like I said, hopefully the Watson kid can throw it well, because I think that's what will keep it close.
Coach Brent Eckley, Jackson football coach, is our guest. This is a special edition of the Coaches Show. We are at Wings Etc. in Jackson, where we have our third birthday bash for SEMO ESPN. We're going to be talking baseball here in a few minutes with SEMO baseball coach Steve Beazer, and we're going to be giving away prizes the entire night. Our big prizes are a little later. Our 43-inch smart TV, courtesy of Vizio. We've got T-shirts to give away. We've got Memphis Grizzlies tickets. We've got St. Louis Blues tickets as well. So let's give away some of these T-shirts here. All right, now if you are in the house here, Mike Rennick is the very attractive gentleman with the beard, and he's got the T-shirt. We've got all kinds of sizes, so just come on up and pick out your T-shirt and tell them what size you want. Of course, I did not put my glasses on. Dalton, what would you say that last name is, Coach?
Looks like Moore.
Dalton Moore. Is Dalton here? All right.
What size?
Come on up, Dalton. All right, let's go with the next T-shirt. And these are pretty good-looking T-shirts. Tim Grogan from Jackson. Is Tim here? Well, he has to be here. He registered. Tina Grogan. How about Tina?
Who is it?
Right last name. Here we go. All right. Now, Lynn Payne. Is Lynn here? Come on up, Lynn. Sean Wilson also. So those are our first 4 T-shirts. Sean Wilson, Lynn Payne. You have just picked up a SEMO ESPN T-shirt. And congratulations with that. Coach Eckley, want to ask you about what are the prospects here for the Jackson football program coming up. Obviously, you lost one of your quarterbacks, Landry Moore, who really had a nice season for you. He started as a third-string quarterback because of injuries, was pushed into playing a lot more than you probably thought going in. Your receiver, Jeremy Elliott, I don't know if he came close to some school records this year in terms of total touchdown receptions. So those are 2 premier guys that you've got to replace. And then your leading tackler, Gabriel Dudley, was another senior off of this past year's team.
Yeah, we'll definitely miss some of those seniors. Landry did a really good job for us this year through a very high completion percentage for us. I think he was close to 70%. He did a really nice job for us this year.
Did you see that at all coming in?
No.
He was going to be a 70% passer?
No, because when you look at it, the guy that started at SEMO this last year didn't throw for 70% in any one of his seasons. And so, that's really good. There's a lot of college guys that don't hit 70%, a lot of them. And so it was he did a really nice job for us there. And he just had a really good connection with receivers. And the one thing that Landry did that was very smart was he figured out where Jeremy was on about every snap that we could throw the ball. And he threw it in his direction. And Jeremy did a great job making plays for us. And he did, as far as Jeremy goes, school records in yards and touchdown receptions and probably receptions. I know that he was probably top 20 all time in Mich as far as receptions. Might have been in the same ballpark for yardage, and then for touchdowns, he was probably top 10 or top 15 all time. I think I've got a kid that I coached at Union that's now coaching at Chaffee, Aaron King. I think he had 25 when he was a senior, 25 receiving touchdowns, which was, need to say, a big deal. But Jeremy probably put in about the second best season that I've had as a receiver in the last 16, 17 years around this offense.
All right. Let's see. I had him for 18.
Should have been 85. Yeah, 18 or 19 touchdowns and 85 catches and about 1133. It was his yardage.
Very, very good. Now,
great season.
So on the surface, you say, okay, great numbers. He's probably going to go on to the next level. Is he being looked at? Is anybody giving him a shot?
He is, and I was just talking to somebody about this today. Going back to the King kid that I had. The year that he had 1,500 yards receiving. He had all these touchdowns, and he was a senior the same year Jeremy Macklin was a senior.
Oh,
and Jeremy Macklin had like 12 or 13 touchdown receptions his senior year. And so, sometimes people look at it just statistically and they think, well, if you've got the stats, he's got to be Division I guy. Well, that's not always the case. And so, there's some other things that play into that. But Jeremy's getting looked at a little bit. He's I know he's on the chart for Central Missouri State that they're looking at him. And they are a very, very, very good program. They play in the tough MIAA, and so that's kind of an uphill battle trying to get money going into there. He's also looked at Quincy. He's kind of selective too. He's wanting to become a commercial pilot. And so not every school out there
I was going to say that narrows the field down
exactly
a little bit.
So he's got the other one, though, like I said, he's looking at Quincy, and I think they're pretty interested in him as well. So, those are like the two that he's really, really looking at right now.
All right. Cooper Callis was your guy at the quarterback position that won the job to start the season, but suffered a fractured elbow. So he only got 2 starts, I believe, the entire season, and one of them came in the Vianney game at the end of the year.
Yeah. And I thought he did a really nice job coming back. It was difficult for him, missing that time because he's a kid that put in more time than any one of our kids in our entire program. He put in more than any of them. And, going into the season to lose him is very frustrating in his perspective. But, he battled back, and just like all the time, he put in ahead of time. He worked his tail off to get back there, to get back in. We tried to move him in kind of slowly, and Landry did such a nice job. It made it difficult to make that transition, but it's difficult to take a kid away due to injury and him not have that opportunity to come back. And there's just so many things that he was able to do for us. He's such a savvy kid. He did a really nice job against Miller Career. I think he played pretty well against Seckman as well. But Miller Career, he did some really, really nice things. And then at Vianney, he made some nice throws too. Statistically, it probably wasn't a very good night completion percentage-wise, but he got banged around a bunch too. We struggled. Had another injury in the offensive line in that game, so we were down to our 10th offensive lineman was playing, and so it made it a little bit rough for us to pick things up. And offensive line, they need to play together to do a good job, and our kids really struggled at being able to do that just because of health.
All right, what are you looking for coming up this season, and what's the schedule look like? Because early on, man, I mean, it was a gauntlet. You played some really good competition. Yeah, for sure. It's interesting. You mentioned that, we go you have a great senior class the year before and a very talented group, with Dante and Preston and Josh Stone and Ben Motti and Zomni Davis, all those guys that were in there. And then, we lose those guys, and then we play 3 teams that they're returning really good senior classes. And so it made it tough for us coming out the gate. I thought we played some good football in there, but young teams are inconsistent, and when you're young, you end up turning the ball over a little more than you like to. And that's what we did in those first 3 games. We turned it over a bunch. Our schedule this year looks different, needless to say. We go on a 2-year cycle, so we're starting a new 2-year cycle. And actually, Mich is looking at maybe down the road, maybe switching that and going to a single-year cycle, but we'll see. For right now, that we're looking at the 16-17 seasons, and the 16 season we will open at home with Columbia Hickman. They could be dropping from Class 6 to Class 5. They're not for sure right now. With the split with Battle and their kids, they might end up coming down to 5. They had a rough season this last year, but there's good athletes in Columbia, and I know that they're going to get their share, and so they're going to bounce back. After that, game 2, we play Lindbergh. And, that's another Class 6 team. We thought we had a pretty good handle on what they'd be doing offensively and defensively. We got some film from last year. New coach. Yeah. After we got the film, started looking at it, then, they're changing coaches. So after that, then we'll jump into conference play. Our conference kind of scrambles a little bit. Sykeston jumps to the front, so we'll play Sykeston. Then the next week, we're at Marion, Arkansas, which people think, man, you're going to Arkansas to play a game. Well, it's closer than Columbia Hickman. It's West Memphis, so it's a fairly straight shot for us. It's definitely better than us taking a trip to Columbia or Hannibal or somewhere like that. Right. So when that's done, we'll come back into conference and we'll play Farmington, Bluff, Cape, and then we go back out of conference and we'll play DeSmet. And again, we collected film on them. New coach, so they're switching coaches as well. That coach is staying on staff, but they're hiring another guy. Right. And I know they had a rough season this last year too, but it's Class 6 school, and they are not going to stay there. They're changing kind of some of the things that they do as a school to make them more competitive within their conference. The Chaminade, the CBCs, the SLUs. So after we play them, then we'll play SLU. That's our last regular season game. So on the outside, we're looking at SLU and DeSmet, Lindbergh, and Columbia Hickman are all Class 6. Then Marion, Arkansas. They're a little bit smaller than us, but they're a very athletic group, and it's in Arkansas. They have spring football. They have an indoor practice facility. It's like they'll be ready. Big time program. Yeah, they'll be ready. So that's our schedule. All right, you'll get Farmington at home. You'll get Bluff at home, and you'll have to go to Cape Central. Yes, sir. Yeah. All right. Yep. Okay. give us a prediction. Who do you like, Alabama or Clemson tonight in the national championship game?
If you ask me who I like Clemson. I'm emotionally, I'd be more attached to Clemson, with the Dabo Swinney story. I would like for them to win. But I'm telling you, it seems like in a big game, and you look at Alabama, I haven't seen anybody really stop them, and it seems like they're pretty rough on defense as well. If I was gonna pick it, I'd pick Alabama, and I'd say that it's probably going to be maybe a 35-21 or 35-24 type game. I'm hoping the other way, but I'm picking.
So you're rooting for Clemson, but gun to your head, you're picking Alabama.
Yes, sir.
All right, I got you.
You got it.
Coach, we appreciate it so much. Thanks for stopping by, and enjoy the game tonight. Grab something to eat.
Thanks.
All right, that's Coach Brent Eckley. And Coach Steve Beazer is going to join us. We're going to talk Red Hawks baseball coming up in a minute. But before we head to commercial break here, we want to give out some more of these SEMO ESPN T-shirts. Alex Espinosa has just won a T-shirt. Come on up, Alex. And by the way, your entry forms go back in for the bigger prizes. So just because you want a T-shirt doesn't mean you won't be walking out of here with the television or the tickets later. Hunter Fulbright, come on up. You are a T-shirt winner. Carla Brown from Cape Girardeau has won a T-shirt. Shannon Wilson. I think Shannon already won, right?
Sean won.
Oh, Sean. So the entire Wilson family, come on up. Laura Essner, also winner of a T-shirt. So come on up. We'll get your sizes, and we're going to be drawing for the bigger prizes a little bit later. We're going to turn the corner here. We're going to talk a little baseball with the two-time OVC champion head coach of the Red Hawk baseball team. Steve Beazer is here. Believe it or not, they will start the season in 1 month and 8 days, February 19th, down in Texas at Lamar University. Steve Beazer joins us next. Special edition of the Coaches Show. We're at Jackson's Wings, Etc. on SEMO ESPN.
For everyone on game day, and people are hungry. More than that, they're hangry. It's 95 degrees out and they're thirsty. That's right, people are thrangry. They need to chill, and that gives you an idea. You remember Coors Light is filtered and bottled cold, so you pass some cold ones out. Suddenly, it's like they're snowboarding the majestic Rocky Mountains, speeding away from the peaks of Thrangry and down the slopes of yes. So they make it with the grilling. Well done. Now it's time for your Coors Light. Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado. Great beer, great responsibility.
The conversation has been growing about Wings Etc. See, Wings Etc. has those award-winning jumbo wings. They're popular for both dine-in and carry-out. Now, the word is getting out about Wings Etc.'s appetizer lineup. From the ultimate nachos to the deep-fried pickle spears, frankly, they're irresistible. Friends are sharing time together at Wings Etc. They've got dining rooms filled with HD TVs tuned to the best sports programming, including NFL Sunday Ticket. The people at the next table are talking about Wings Etc.'s daily half-pound lunch special, starting at just $6.49. Plus, Wings Etc. has food and drink specials throughout the week, including 59-cent wings every Monday. Plus, there's the kids menu, and Wings Etc. is family-friendly with video games in the dining room. And the whole community is excited about how Wings Etc. is locally owned and operated, and their athletes, their families, schools, and teams. I guess Wings Etc. is a really big deal around here.
There are lots of reasons to love the holidays, and now, during the Ford Holiday Sales Event, America's best-selling brand is giving you more. Big holiday savings on amazing vehicles, including built for tough trucks, cars that thrill by design, and SUVs that will help you be unstoppable. All with the technology, performance, and style you'll love. So don't miss the Ford Holiday Sales Event. Hurry to your Ford dealer for the best gift ever. Claim based on 2014 calendar year sales data.
And now, your ESPN Radio Network local weather forecast.
The National Weather Service calling for mostly cloudy skies, 28 degrees. We'll hit clouds and sunshine tomorrow with a high of 33. Wednesday right now, 35 and sunny. Thursday up to 48 degrees with sunshine. Friday, a chance of rain with a high of 50. Saturday, a slight chance of rain and snow mix with a high of 38. And right now, Sunday, mostly sunny and a high of 31 degrees.
You're up to date with the latest weather forecast breaking on the ESPN Radio Network.
This is Mike Greenberg for the best in local sports talk and play-by-play. It's SEMO ESPN.
It's a special edition of the Coaches Show, our third annual birthday bash for SEMO ESPN, presented by Moreland Dodge of Sykeston. And we will be here broadcasting until 6 o'clock. We'll be here all evening watching the national championship football game. We've got it on the high-def televisions here at Wings, etc. They are escorting Nick Saban across the field right now. So both teams getting ready to go. They say it will kick off foot on football right about 7:30 is when kickoff will occur. So still a little ways away, a little less than 2 hours until we kick off the national championship game, Alabama versus the undefeated Clemson Tigers. So we've talked plenty of football. Believe it or not, baseball is in the news. If you did not hear the latest today, it is now official. The Cardinals have signed Korean League closer, and his name is Seung-Hwan Oh. He's a 33-year-old who has 357 career saves in Korea and Japan. He had 41 saves for the Hanshin Tigers this past season, and he's a guy with a fastball between 93, 95, hard slider, split-finger fastball. So that is the latest. He gets a one-year deal with a club option. And according to Derek Gould of the St. Louis Post-Dispatch, a total, including the option, of about $5 million. So if he works out, they can pick up the option. If he does not work out, then they can move on at the club's decision. And he is going to be a setup man for Trevor Rosenthal. So that's the latest baseball news. We're going to talk more baseball here with Red Hawks baseball coach Steve Beazer. And I know you keep an eye on what the Cardinals are doing. It's interesting that they're going to go to Korea to pick up one of the most successful closers in Korean baseball history. We're seeing a lot of the Asian-based pitchers coming to the major leagues and, quite frankly, having success.
Yeah, I mean, you have seen that a lot lately, and there's reasons they have success. They have some, really funky type deliveries. They have a lot of different pitches. Their conditioning over there is just unbelievable, and they're guys that are used to throwing a lot, and they've been very successful over here.
Let's talk about your program, because it's actually in the news coming up this Friday, and I don't know if there are still seats available, but you're going to have your first pitch dinner at the Isle Casino Event Center, and a guy that anybody in baseball is familiar with, Bobby Valentine, former manager in the major leagues, ESPN personality. There's a guy that coached overseas, coached in Japan. He probably has a scouting report on this guy that the Cardinals just signed. What's the latest on the first pitch dinner coming up?
Well, that's something that we're pushing really hard this time of the year, and it's coming here in a few days, but we definitely have seats available, and I don't think we'll be able to fill the place. I mean, that's a big place, and
it is,
and it'd be great to get more people out there. It's an opportunity for me to kind of reunite with my first big league manager and Bobby Valentine, and that's how we got him here. It worked out really well. Gave him a call, and he said, "Sure, anything for you," and I wasn't even sure he still remembered me. So, that's nice. We'll get him in here, and he's very colorful, and we'll have a good evening.
Anybody who has never heard, and I've said this, on the radio a few times when we've been promoting it during basketball broadcasts, anybody who's never heard Bobby Valentine speak, worth the price of admission to go watch him. He is very, very good. He's got a million stories, very personable guy. And I know he was a Division I athletic director. Is he still an athletic director?
He is. He's at Sacred Heart University.
There you go.
Really kind of there in his hometown. He went back to his hometown and still does ESPN stuff and is there as their athletic director.
So you can talk athletic department stuff with him then.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I'm actually going to go pick him up at the airport, and we'll have a nice ride back and talk about a lot of different things, and we'll lead him right into whatever he wants to talk about, because he's got plenty of stories. Like you said, he's been in Japan and managed, and been here and had some really good clubs here too as well. But what a lot of people don't really realize about him, he was one of the best prospects coming out of college at his time, and I think
until he got hurt, right?
Until he got hurt, yeah, that was something that really set him back on his playing days.
Now, he's got a past in Texas. Was he with Nolan Ryan with the Rangers? Do we know?
I'm not positive on that. I'm not sure if they crossed right there. I think that the timing kind of seems really close. I think that would be very possible.
What do you bet that one of the most asked questions for Bobby Valentine is the night he got thrown out of the game and came back in the dugout with the fake mustache and the glasses?
I'm sure, and I'm sure Sean's got something there for him as far as video that's going to be shown a little bit. I'm sure that'll be a question that's going to be asked quite a bit.
Boy, if you could just get the fake glasses and nose for a lot of the people when he goes up to speak, they could all put the glasses and the nose on. That would be great. So that's the first pitch dinner. Now, if people want to get involved, now this is one of your primary fundraisers. So how do they get involved if they want to be part of the first pitch dinner with Bobby Valentine at the Isle this Friday night?
Well, the best way is just through the website. It's just gosoutheast.com/first pitch, or if you just go on our Go Southeast and click on baseball, you'll be able to find that link. And we'll still be able to take probably possibly take some at the door that night as well. So that's something that they could call in if it's a last minute deal and just check.
All right. Anybody that is hungry, the food is here. And Joe Hobbs, there we go. He is putting some new chicken fingers up there. So you can head up there. Chicken nuggets. I'm sorry. Wings. What am I saying? Wings. Well, they're boneless wings. So welcome back to Nuggets, etc. here at Jackson. And all right, we're going to give away some more T-shirts here. And we're giving away free boneless wings as well, right up here. Sandy Laurie. Did I pronounce that right? Sandy Laurie. Come on up and get your T-shirt. Zachary Payne. Kim Baring. There you go. Come on up and get your T-shirt. And Casey Seabaugh. We already called Casey's name? I don't know. So you got the T-shirt, and you are still going to be in the drawing for the flat screen TV, the Memphis Grizzlies tickets, and the St. Louis Blues tickets. All right, Coach Steve Beazer is here. We're less than 2 hours away from the kickoff of the national championship football game between Alabama and the Clemson Tigers. Before the season even gets going here, you got two good pieces of news. You've got two All-Americans as named by Louisville Slugger, and I believe is it Collegiate Baseball or Baseball America?
Louisville Slugger, yeah, it's Baseball America.
Yeah, Collegiate Baseball newspaper and Louisville Slugger, and that is Ryan Rippey, Trevor Ezell, two guys that had really, really good seasons for you this past year. They'll be back. I was a little surprised. Brandon Baguetto, your shortstop, who had better numbers probably than all of the guys that were named All-Americans. We can talk about him. But before the season even starts, you're getting votes in the top 30 poll in college baseball, and you've got two preseason All-Americans. Pretty nice.
Yeah, I mean, it's always good to have those preseason honors, and those guys were well deserved. And I could have possibly thought that we might have at least 3 to 4 guys as preseason All-Americans with Brandon Bogetto, Joey Lucchese. Those guys put up some really good numbers last year, and but anytime you get two at Southeast Missouri, that's really an honor.
Ryan Rippey is more of a home run hitter. He's a big guy, 6'6", former basketball player. In fact, his father is the basketball coach at Kickapoo High School. And then Trevor Ezell is a guy, well, I don't know where he's playing. I mean, he plays outfield, he plays third, he plays second base. I know with your 4-year guy, former All-American Jason Bloom has moved on. He was a senior this past season. There was talk that maybe Trevor Ezell would be a second baseman this year. How does he fit in?
Well, I mean, he's our second baseman this year, and he's a guy that can move over and play shortstop. He can play third. We've seen him play it all, and he's just such a phenomenal athlete that we can do a lot of things with him. And he really makes he can stretch our lineup out quite a bit because he can play a lot of different positions. But at this point, I really don't see. You want to kind of keep that nucleus in the middle together, Bogetto and Ezell. Letting them work every single day, and a lot of it's about how many double plays can you turn in the season, and that's something that we've been really good over in the past few years with having that steady combination of Bloom and Bogetto, and Lack is in there as well. But to get Trevor kind of synced up, he needs to play a lot of second baseman at second base, and I think that's where we'll see most of the year.
I believe you led the OVC in double plays turned last year, right?
Yeah, I mean the last 2 years we were right up there. I heard a number something like 276 over the last 5 years. This past weekend at the ABCA convention, and they're leading they're leading in that right now. And I thought about that number, and I thought we're right there. In 5 years, we could have that number easy.
All right, so the third base position, it was Andy Lennington for a long time. Trevor kind of stepped in there last year when Andy Lennington went down with an injury. What are we looking at third base for the Red Hawks this year?
Well, we've got a junior college transfer in Chris Caffrey, and he's been really what we thought he was going to be. He's a very special bat in our lineup. And Hunter Leeper over there as well. Hunter's been outstanding defensively, so we got a great combination of Hunter being an excellent defender over there and Caffrey being a plus bat. So the combination of those two guys should see a lot of time at third base.
Hunter Leeper is the personification of a versatile player. I mean, everybody talks about Ben Zobrist, the guy that the Cubs signed who can play all these positions. You actually had a game this past year where you started Hunter Leeper at every defensive position except for pitcher and catcher, right? You played every position. And the ironic thing was he caught a lot, and that's one position he didn't play, but that was something that you kind of planned in advance, and he came in and played 7 defensive positions in one game.
Yeah, I mean, a part of it, we got caught because we were the visiting team, and it was the point of the year. We were in a non-conference weekend, and we could do that. But the thing about Hunter is he's a plus defender at every position on the field, so he will not hurt you any place on the field, and you can definitely do that. And I expect that we'll see it this year. I mean, he deserves a chance to do that. You've got to be flexible with your other players to do that, but it's something that not a lot of people get to do, and to have Hunter do that this year, that's one of the goals.
Now, see, I would think that it probably wouldn't even be in the discussion if the head coach was a former pitcher. But because the head coach is a former utility player who played all over the field himself, you played about everywhere there is, you understand how special it is to have a guy that can do all that stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I had the opportunity to do it twice in pro ball, and it was just a lot of fun, and it's something that you can step back and look at it, and nobody gets a chance to do it unless they can play defense, and Hunter definitely deserves that opportunity.
Okay, so you are going on the record now as saying that Hunter Leeper will be the first college player since Buster Posey at Florida State to play all 9 positions in a game.
Yeah, I think it'll happen before probably week 3.
There you go. Well, we'll continue to hone in on that. But wasn't that a fun day in the dugout for all of the players? Because I know it was fun for us in the broadcast booth because where is he coming out this inning? I mean, it was a neat thing. I got to think that there was a little buzz in the dugout.
Yeah, it was a blast. I mean, the bad part was we ended up losing the game, and I guess a little bit of arrogance that we thought we could pull it off on the road, because you got to be able to win the ball game to pull it off.
Now, didn't you have the lead? Had you brought them in relief, you probably win the game, right?
I would think so.
All right, let's give away some more T-shirts here. Mike Essner, or Essner. What is it? Essner from Altenburg. Sorry. There we go. Mike Essner from Altenburg. Brandy Walgren. Come on up from Jackson. Roger starts with an R from Cape. What do you think, Mike? What do you think that says? Last name?
That says Rains.
Rains. There we go. Perfect.
Medium, large, extra large. You got a 2X?
And is it Angeline Paris? All right, come on up from Benton. Come on up. You've got the free SEMO ESPN T-shirt. Coach Steve Beazer is joining us here. We are about an hour and 45 minutes away from kicking off the national championship football game between Alabama and Clemson. So we certainly invite you to come out if you would like to be a part of it here at Wings, etc. It's going to be on every television in the house. I don't know. Maybe they'll have a hockey game or an NBA game on somewhere. Your schedule, Coach Beazer, coming up. You open at Lamar February 19th. You play 3 consecutive days, and then I think you go to Alcorn State. So you're going to play Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. So that's ambitious right out of the chute.
Yeah, it's kind of designed that we can kind of break up the trip on the way back. It's about a 10.5-hour trip, and we've got a chance to to play a midweek game, and probably the best day. Usually we like to play our midweek games on a Tuesday, but with us returning on the trip, the Monday works well. And that time of the year, we've got 4 starters that's kind of slated that we want to make sure that all 4 guys can get a start in that first week.
So what you're saying is you have not chartered us a private jet for that trip.
No, we got a nice long bus ride.
Well, I would think Sean Stevenson would have been on that a little earlier than just a month out to really get that thing going. So it's Alcorn State. Then you travel back down to Arkansas Pine Bluff. So a steady dose of the Southwestern Athletic Conference here early on.
Yeah, I mean, that's part of it. We tried the steady dose of starting off in Cape last year, and that didn't work too well. So we knew we needed to go south a little bit and finding those opponents that to play, that we know we can get games at. And that's the most important thing, is getting those games early in the year. What's interesting is normally if you're going to play a big school, it's either going to be in a 3-game series on the weekend in non-conference play, or if they would happen to have a non-conference weekend in their schedule. Rarely do you play a bigger school 2 midweek games, but you have a couple of those series this year. Midweek, multiple games on the road against SEC schools. Yeah, I mean, when you look at it, what we are is we're a good RPI for those schools, and they like to find good competition to bring them into their park and get good wins off of us. And we want to play the best competition we can, and if getting a chance to go to Ole Miss and then the Mizzou, that's 2 SEC games that we're really looking forward to, and kind of the nice little thing about it is we've got Ole Miss coming back to us the next year playing it in Cape Girardeau, so that'll be pretty cool. Well, so that's Ole Miss in the span of 2 years comes here in men's basketball, and they'll be coming to Cap-Hall. Now, how did you work that out? It doesn't sound like that's probably – we can't even get Mizzou to come back here anymore. No, it really doesn't happen very often. I'm not sure exactly how it worked. When they called to ask if we wanted to play them, I said, yeah, we'd love to. And they said, well, the following year we'll return the trip. And I didn't even have to really beg for that. And they were just willing to do it. So I don't know how their schedule's working out. Maybe it's working out where they're heading north from, after they catch us in a midweek. It might be their spring break week or whatever it is. But it works out perfect for us and a chance to get them on our field. All right, the last few years you have been nationally ranked in multiple offensive categories, and a lot of the reason why is your hitting coach, Dylan Lawson, has been fantastic. What a coup it's been for the program to have him on board. You guys have implemented a very unique hitting approach, a pitch recognition system that a lot of major league teams are starting to look at, including the Houston Astros, and just so happens the Houston Astros have hired your hitting coach. You are currently looking for a hitting coach as Dylan Lawson takes the jump from Division I to professional hitting coach. Yeah, Dylan's done an outstanding job for us over the past 3 years, and this is something that's kind of been ongoing. We knew that he had a chance eventually to get that position. He's been in collaboration a lot with the Houston Astros, and they just bounce ideas back and forth. The Astros are doing the same pitch recognition program we're doing. And, that they stayed in contact, and things opened up there, and he's got an opportunity to go, coach professional baseball. He's going to start off in the New York Penn League and be their hitting coach there. And I think he'll do a great job. And I think it's something that fits him very well. But we'll continue to do our pitch recognition program here, and we got to find the right guy for that. Who's going to be the right guy to fit in there. And it's got to be something somebody that's familiar with it. And somebody can kind of hit the ground running. Like you said, we're about 40 days away from opening up, and for me to have to train a new hitting coach for the pitch recognition would really be a challenge. All right. I'm sure you've talked to people already. I'm sure there has been interest in the position. Have you conversed with anybody who is familiar with the pitch recognition system? Yeah, I had a chance to talk to some people at the ABCA convention and guys that are very close to the pitch recognition. Nobody that's done it, quite as defined as we have, because we're really kind of the pioneers in college baseball in a pitch recognition program. But guys that are familiar with it, guys that we had a chance to present last year at the ABCA, and guys that's kind of looked into that and tried to start that program. They're kind of in the infancy stages in their program, but they were, they did try to do a lot of things that we're doing. So somebody that's got a little grasp of it will definitely help as far as the transition coming in. we're just fortunate. I mean, Dr. Fatty, that is a professor there at SIU Carbondale, that he's close enough that he's kind of the guy that really got us going on it. So to have him kind of in our back pocket and right here in our backyard to be able to come over and help our new guy as well.
Isn't it ironic that the guy in Carbondale starts a pitch recognition system and the Salukis were not even using it?
Yeah, I'm glad that they didn't. They really didn't want any part of it. I know he probably talked to the coaches there at Carbondale, and when he came and presented to me, and I said I'd love to kind of work on this. It's drills that we do already, and it just can only enhance the drills that we do. And we took it up really quick, and then Dylan did an outstanding job of just continuing to do more and more research and build it and really go in depth with it. And that's something that, we're at that stage right now that we're very in depth with that program, and it's gonna be very beneficial for us for years to come.
All right, that's going to do it here for Coach Steve Beazer. We appreciate so much you stopping by.
Thank you, Eric.
And I know you eat very healthy, not like a lot of us, but we've got cake over here, so make sure you grab yourself a piece of cake on the way out.
That sounds good.
All right, we'll see if he really eats a piece of cake, though, by the way. Coach, we appreciate it. Steve Beazer, we're going to take one final timeout. We are going to cut the cake during the timeout. We'll be right back. We got to give away the prizes. Still more from Wings, etc. in Jackson. It's our third annual SEMO ESPN Birthday Bash. It is the SEMO ESPN Birthday Bash, a special edition of the Coaches Show here at Wings, etc. in Jackson. We are going to get you to the pregame show coming up momentarily. Give away our last batch of T-shirts. We have medium and larges left. Okay. Jessica Espinoza from Jackson, come on up and get your T-shirt. Scott Brown, congratulations. Leah Heyman, congratulations. Stacy Taylor is a T-shirt winner, and so is Debbie Brown. And those names are going right back in the big box, and we are going to draw for the big prizes. Okay, let's give away the St. Louis Blues. Should we do the Blues first? What's that? Oh, that's right. Okay. When we call your name, you come up and you pick a red bag, and inside the bag we'll tell you if you won the TV, the Grizzlies tickets, or the Blues tickets, okay? Go ahead. Just hand it to me. All right. We've got Lynn Payne, one of our grand prize winners. So Lynn will choose one of our red gift bags. All right, our next grand prize finalist, Eric Espinoza. It's a Hall of Fame first name he's got. And the third grand prize winner is Casey Seabaugh. All right. So they are picking their bags, and we're going to get you to the National Championship pregame show. Thanks, everybody, for joining us on SEMO ESPN. The National Championship is coming up right now.